All right, let's get to it. We gotta go through our Final Four picks here and kind of break down our Final Four picks a little bit and why and who we have in common. And you want to start?
Yeah, sure. I'll go first.
All right, go ahead.
I'm going to go Kentucky, Gonzaga, UCLA, and Michigan.
All right, we got two of the same.
Okay.
We got this one. I wore this hat for my Final Four pick. And I'm with you with Gonzaga. It's hard to argue with Gonzaga, right? I mean, they've got two of the best big men. Yeah, they got everything. I mean, they got two elite big men, one veteran big man in Drew Timme, who could be the player of the year. Chet Holmgren could be the number one pick. And then you've got multiple point guards. You know, you got Andrew Nembhard, who, you know, takes care of the basketball, can make people better, doesn't have to score to be effective. And then they got a couple of freshman point guards coming in, one of which is point guard Nolan Hickman. And they'll play together, Hickman and Nembhard. And then Hunter Salas, who's more of a two. You know, he's from Omaha. He's more of a scorer. But I just think they've got not everything you need. Not everything. Because you know what they don't have, Rob?
What's that? I would say, well, you tell me. What do you
shooting? Perimeter
That's what I was going to say. They missed Court Kispert.
Yes. Yeah. That's my biggest concern with them is, honestly, are they going to be able to shoot it well enough? Will it matter? You know, it may not matter till the tournament because in the WCC, they'll be able to overwhelm people with their size.
Right.
And maybe even their athleticism this year to some extent and shot blocking ability with Chet Holmgren. But I wonder in the NCAA tournament, do they have one of those, 3 for 20 nights? Now they can throw it inside if they are. I mean, they should be playing inside out.
Totally.
With Timme, no matter who they're playing against for the most part, unless it's your boy Zach Edey or Kofi Coburn.
Let me ask you, why no UCLA? I mean, you talk about having everything. You have an elite point guard in Tyger Campbell. You've got shooting. You've got a 3-4 man, Jaime Jaquez, that's elite. You've got Johnny Juzang who can really shoot the basketball. You've got Cody Riley, who gave good minutes last year. And you bring in Miles Johnson, who is a big-time rebounder, shot blocker. You've got an elite freshman in Peyton Watson. So I'm just you and I always say this. Your picks are fine. This is a crapshoot, right? Like saying
you haven't seen all my picks yet. You haven't even heard all my picks yet.
You said we had two of the same, and you said Kentucky and you said Gonzaga. So when you were saying about all these nice things about Gonzaga, you said they have everything. I'm looking at UCLA, and I'm like, I think they have everything. So.
Yeah, they kind of do, and I've got them ranked high in the preseason. I guess it's just so hard for me to look at that team for not the first half of the season, the entire regular season, and say to myself, like, are they more that, or are they more the NCAA tournament team that caught fire and went first four to Final Four? And can Mick Cronin keep everybody happy on this team? That's a big question for me.
That's a good problem to have, though.
It is. And Mick Cronin,
man, our players suck.
Right. I think Mick's the type of guy that can also, like, he doesn't give a shit. Like, he'll sit somebody down. It doesn't matter to him. Now, I'm not sure that's the way you got to do it with this team. I think you got to be very careful to try to keep everybody happy. And, to me, we've said this, Jaime Jaquez is probably more valuable than Johnny Juzang. He does more. Yeah. But you got to be careful with Juzang that you don't lose him, because people are expecting Johnny Juzang to go for 20 every night now. And that's not going to happen. That's just not on this team. So I like UCLA a lot. I like other teams better, I think.
All right, fair. So get to your other two. Sorry for
no. We're going to go through. We're going to start with our two that we both like, and you can't not let me talk about my Kentucky Wildcats after my trip to Lexington last week.
You're big in Lexington now, I hear.
They love me in Lexington. I mean, I had a conversation with Calipari, first one in 13 years.
That is big.
It was big. It was very interesting. I'll leave the details, behind closed doors.
What a pro's pro you are.
I am a pro's pro. But we walked out shaking hands. That's all you need to know, Robbie Hummel. Don't ask anything more. All right, that's it. It's all you're going to get. all you're going to get. You can keep digging all you want. I just, here's what I like about Kentucky too. They've got veterans now to go with really good young players. I'm a huge, if you haven't noticed already, Ty Washington.
Your guy.
Oh, I love him. I love him. You're going to love him. You are, because he can score at all three levels. He's a really, really good passer who has good court vision. He's not a great athlete, but he just knows how to play. Like high IQ. He'll have his ups and downs early as most freshmen do. But I think he's going to be great. And the beauty of it is, you know, he can learn from some of these older guys, the CJ Fredericks, the Severe Wheelers, the Kellen Grady's.
How healthy is CJ Frederick?
He wasn't when I was there. He was still, he hadn't gotten through anything contact yet. Yeah. So I bet he told me he hoped to be ready to go for Champions Classic. My guess is if he's ready to go, it's a handful of minutes. Right. They don't need him. That's the beauty of that team is they've got Kellen Grady, who, by the way, Calipari was telling me he started practice shooting 9% from three. I think it was 9% for the first like 2 weeks of practice.
Like you.
Yeah, pretty much. It does sound like me. And even Kellen Grady told me, he's like, yeah, I was worried. He's like, I was a little bit worried here that, you know, it was just too much. The system.
Making that transition. Yeah, sure.
McKillop, think about it. Bob McKillop's system to John Calipari's system. So it took time, and he went from like 9% to like, I don't know, 25%. A couple, you know, so he jumped up significantly. But they've just got everything. Again, I like teams that have 2 point guards. They do. Wheeler and Ty can both play the point. They've got a big. The only thing I worry about a little bit is their front court depth. They got Oscar, big Oscar Shibwe, who, by the way, like we gotta try to get him on our pod at some point this year. He's that good. You will die laughing.
He can play, man. I feel like people have forgotten about him because he hasn't played in forever.
Right. Well, he left at the break.
Yeah.
He left at the break, West Virginia, and it wasn't a very amicable parting between him and Bob.
They've had some interesting splits with their big. Sag Kanate was a weird ending, and Shibwe was a weird ending. I agree that front court depth is an issue, but I also think that in today's game, unless you're playing, you know, a Purdue or an Illinois or a Michigan, that doesn't necessarily hurt you as much.
No, not in the SEC.
Not in that league.
Right. Damian Collins. They have a freshman, Damian Collins, who's about 6'9", 205, super athlete. Like, think Isaiah Jackson, but just smaller.
Yeah.
Not as big. So he's more of a 4, but against some teams, he can give you 10, 15 minutes at the 5.
Totally. I just think Kentucky's upgraded shooting is astronomical from last year. Yes. And that's going to pay huge dividends because they still have dynamic playmakers and they've just got talent. And they're coached by a guy that wins a lot of games. So I think Kentucky's going to be really good this year. Yep. I'm with you there.
You want my third team?
Yeah, let's hear
it. The Fighting Illini with Andre Curbelo as a point guard and Kofi Coburn as the big.
Yep.
And Trent Frazier and DeMonte Williams, veterans. Like, I think Trent Frazier is one of the more underrated guys around.
Elite perimeter defender, makes shots. And you know what I love about Trent Frazier is that he has been there through the crap years where they were getting their brains beat in. And he's hung around and he's kind of reaped the benefits the last 2 or 3 years of, all right, I got my brain beat in forever. And now I get to reap the benefits of this deal. So I love Trent Frazier's game. And I think Alfonso Plummer is a big add too, because he can make shots. He can really shoot the ball. And
so if you put Frazier and Plummer out there with Curbelo
or DeMonte Williams, I mean, you stick any of those guys on the weak side, you play pick and roll, and you let Andre Curbelo go to work.
Yep.
They're going to be really good. I went with Michigan. If you went with Illinois, Purdue, Michigan, the Final Four, I would be on board with any of those picks. I think any of the 3 of those could be there at the end of the day.
Why did you go with Michigan?
Because I think their upside is high.
Yeah.
And I think they might have some struggles maybe early a little bit because you cannot lose guys like Isaiah Livers and Franz Wagner and just kind of roll, right? Like there's going to be an adjustment period. But Eli Brooks, again, much like Trent Frazier, very underrated, elite perimeter defender, can make plays, can make some shots, shot almost 40% from three last year. I'm counting on Devontae Jones to have a Mike Smith type year. And that's a little bit scary. But
because we don't know enough about him.
No, you don't. And I mean, I can look at his numbers at Coastal Carolina, and they're great. He's obviously had a lot of success there. But I'm expecting him to do it. That might be unfair. I don't know. Then you look at their freshmen. They've got 2 5-star guys. Caleb Houston looks like an elite player. I don't know if he will be right away. Who knows? No one knows. But I do know that Hunter Dickinson is a stud. And I do know that they can play through him when they're trying to find themselves a little bit. And they've got a lot of talented freshmen. And they've got a lot of guys in there that can play. So I guess I'm counting on Juwan Howard to kind of do what he did last year. But I do think that at the end of the day, when you look at their ceiling, they're going to have some struggles early probably, but they are talented. So that's going on a limb. And again, like I said earlier, I think that if I had said Purdue or I had said Illinois, I think people wouldn't bat an eye at that.